Oh, it's that time again. It's 2K Kingslayer, aka 2KK, back again with another NBA discussion video. Today, we're going to be discussing one of my favorite players in the league, and in my opinion, one of the most underrated players in the league, Jimmy Butler. But before we get into it, I'm going to ask you guys to please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to facilitate intelligent and respectful NBA discussion, so if you support that, again, please like and subscribe. So, a couple reports have indicated that Jimmy Buckets is not happy. He allegedly is fed up with Karl Anthony Towns as well as Andrew Wiggins, partially because of their lack of defensive awareness, defensive effort. And I think a part of it, especially for Cat, is I think he just has a little bit of growing to do. And I want to say first and foremost that I think that this is posturing. I don't think Jimmy Butler necessarily wants to go anywhere, but I think he kind of wants to, put the fear of God into these young guys, basically, especially Karl Anthony Towns. And I think he probably also wants Wiggins traded. Wiggins, to me, is one of the most overrated players in the league. Like, this guy is flashy offensively at times, but he is so frustrating to watch. But anyway, my point is, I don't necessarily buy that Jimmy Butler is really going anywhere. Having said that, it is interesting to think about what team could Jimmy Butler go to and make an immediate impact and fit in with really well. I shouldn't really have even said the impact part, because he would make an impact on literally any team. You put him on the Sacramento Kings right now, and they'll look pretty good with Jimmy Butler on there. But so first of all, let's talk about the one that's been rumored recently, and that is the Boston Celtics. So as a Lakers fan, this would make me sick to my stomach. I do not want to see one of my favorite players on the Boston Celtics, especially since they're so stacked already. But putting bias aside, I actually don't think the Boston Celtics would be a great landing destination for him in his pending free agency. Because, first of all, the Celtics are stacked at the wing positions. Okay, they've got Gordon Hayward coming back. They've got Jason Tatum, who's their future. He's not going anywhere. Jaylen Brown, I don't think is going anywhere. I think he showed a lot in the playoffs last year. And they've also got Marcus Morris there, who I guess they could move. But my point is, they got a lot of wings right now. It wouldn't totally make that much sense to add yet another wing. I think if anything, they need help more at the power forward position. I know that sometimes they put Tatum as kind of that stretch four, but you can't do that all the time. So yeah, it would be a little tricky. It wouldn't be perfect. It wouldn't be a perfect fit in Boston, in my opinion. He could go to my Lakers. I'm sure my Lakers are very interested in him. But having said that, if you put him on my Lakers as they are currently constructed, he's going to be playing with a lot of knuckleheads. For some reason, we brought on Lance Stevenson and JaVale McGee, Rajon Rondo. Now, Rondo and Jimmy might work. That could work. But with some of the other guys, as well as the young players, I'm not sure that he wants to deal with that, especially being that, like I said, I think part of the issue he's having with Cat is his age and immaturity. So, there's also no guarantee that Kawhi Leonard is coming to the Lakers. But I will say, if Kawhi came, then I would kind of reevaluate this and say, okay, maybe the Lakers are, objectively, putting my bias aside, maybe the Lakers are a good landing spot for him. But as of right now, Kawhi is not there. So I don't think putting Jimmy on the Lakers makes a ton of sense. So I was kind of scouring the league and going through teams and seeing where would he be perfect right now? Where would be the most perfect fit for him? And the team that I landed on was an up-and-coming team of young guys. A team that I really like watching, and if you have League Pass, you should really check this team out if you haven't been doing so. But that is the Utah Jazz. So, the Jazz, as I said, are a really fun team to watch. And there are a couple reasons why I think he would fit really well with the Jazz. Number one is those beautiful alternate uniforms that they started wearing this year. I mean, those are really pretty, Jimmy. Look at those. Look at them. You'd look great in that. Any player would look great. I really like those, and I really like that alternate court that they had during the playoffs. Ooh, so pretty. All right, but some serious ones now. Serious reasons. All right, first of all, positionally, it makes sense, unlike some of the other teams that I talked about. So, they currently have 4 point guards for some reason. They have Dante Exum, Donovan Mitchell, who I think he plays shooting guard sometimes, but he's really a point guard. They have Ricky Rubio is still on that team. And according to Google, Alec Burks is still on this team for some reason. I used to have him on my fantasy team. I thought it was going to be a nice sleeper pick, but he was not. Basically, they have too many point guards in their rotation. But they are a little weak at the wing spot, shooting guard, small forward wise. They have Joe Ingles there, who I think Jimmy playing next to Joe Ingles, or Ingles, however you say it, I think that would be a really good pairing because Joe Ingles, you know, he'll try on defense. He's not a great defender, but he at least puts in effort, and he's a great shooter, which works really well because Jimmy Butler is an excellent playmaker. As far as shooting guards go in the league, he's one of the best playmakers at that 2 position. So he would play well with these players, I think. Another reason is that he would be filling a hole left by Gordon Hayward. They don't have a superstar right now, as good as they are and as fun as they are to watch. So, you know, Hayward leaving is something that he maybe would have regretted if the Celtics weren't so good, because the Jazz looked really good last year, including in the playoffs. Yeah, but he'd be filling that superstar hole. Another really positive reason, I know one of the things that I think Jimmy probably likes about Minnesota right now, and one of the reasons that I think he would be reluctant to leave, is that he gets along well with Tibbs, because Tibbs is kind of a no-nonsense coach, and that sort of fits with Jimmy's personality. But, you know, so would Quinn Snyder. Quinn Snyder is an excellent coach. He looks like he's about to hatch a diabolical plan to take over the world at all times. That's just his face. That's just how it is. And he was so good that Kobe Bryant actually argued last year that Quinn Snyder should have been the coach of the year. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think he deserves to be in the discussion. He got a lot out of his team. His team doesn't exactly have superstar players, but man, they play hard. They play really hard. And specifically, he got that offense looking pretty good. They're number 15 in the league, which is league average overall. But in my opinion, that's overperforming for the guys that they have on that roster right now. Their best player is probably Rudy Gobert. And look, I know that Donovan Mitchell's on there, but he's young. He's really young, and he has his limitations right now. But overall, their best player is probably Rudy Gobert. He is not an offensive player. So you would think that this team has a lot of struggles defensively, but they were actually league average last year. And if you add Jimmy Butler to that team, in my opinion, they improved significantly, and they would be easily top 10 in terms of offenses in the league. So more so than the offense is the defense. The Utah Jazz's defensive position last year in the league was 2. They were the second best defensive rating in the entire league at 101.6. That's pretty impressive. And Jimmy Butler, as we know, is an excellent two-way player. He plays hard on defense, he plays hard on offense, and I think if you put him on that team, it's reasonable to think that they would jump the Celtics in terms of defensive rating. Celtics were number 1 last year. They would be really locking teams down. Donovan Mitchell, Butler, Joe Ingles, Gobert. They brought Favors back too. You know, Favors can still go on defense. So, yeah. My point is, it's a no-nonsense type of team. They play really hard, and it's not like he would have to take a pay cut to go there or anything like that. They have space to sign him. And I think if he goes there, it would be an attractive destination for even more free agents to go. So it's something to think about. I think it would be the perfect landing spot for him. I still think that the Utah Jazz need to change their name, because as far as I know, Mormons are not big into jazz, but I might be wrong. I don't really know. There hasn't been any jazz played in Utah probably ever. So maybe be the Utah Rattlesnakes or something like that. But regardless of all that, I think it would be the perfect landing spot for Jimmy Butler. Let me know what you guys think. If Jimmy Butler were to leave the Timberwolves, where should he go? And do you think he actually is going to leave the Timberwolves, or is this a bluff? Because that's what I think. So hit me up in the comments section below. And I did want to address, before anybody mentions it, in my last video I said that I was going to use NBA footage, but I got hit with a copyright notice almost immediately after I uploaded that, so I'm like, so much for that. So that's not going to happen. I'm going to use 2K footage. But still, it's going to be more of a discussion series that we have here. But anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. We'll be back. Until next time, 2K Kingslayer, we out.